this is live, and I think I am not speaking. Okay. Welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I'm Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Now, um, had a general question today. Sorry for that. About how much to counter offer on a house. Now, that's a very general question, and really, we gotta explain what offer is, what a counter offer is, what it means. So I originally, before I was in the real estate business, I was in the mortgage business, and before that, I was a trader um, on Wall Street, basically. And what I was taught there was that when you want to buy something, that's a bid, and when you want to sell something, that's an offer. However, what offer has come to mean is usually that's a buyer offering to buy a house and giving you a number. And then a counter offer usually is something that's coming back from a seller. Now, counter offer can go back and forth, right? Guy might give a price, a seller gives a price, then you can counter back. You can counter back 100 times. But if there really isn't real a system, there is some kind of system. I mean, John Martinez teaches this system where you go down 3 times and each time, sort of to give the idea that you want less. But it really depends on a lot of factors, right? It's not a simple thing to answer because you're going to get a lot of, hopefully your house is priced right that you're trying to sell. I'm talking about from a seller's perspective. I guess we'll deal with buyer's perspective after. You're going to sell, if you price your house right today, you will, without a doubt, get a lot of offers on it, right? Today. Right? I don't know when you're watching this, but as of right now, you should get multiple offers. I can't imagine. The only reason you won't get multiple offers is if your house is not priced right. Now, I mean that. And it's very important that you understand to look at real estate like that. And people think, well, my house is in bad condition, my house is in a bad location. There is a price for it, without a doubt. We are in a very efficient real estate market now. 30 years ago, right, if you had a house you wanted to sell, if somebody didn't see an ad in the paper or see a sign in front, nobody would know about it. That's a very inefficient market because how the hell is anybody going to know about my house that's for sale? Today, thanks to the internet, anybody who's looking for a house should be able to find your house, right? Now, if you're listing it on the MLS, or if you want to find a real estate investor like me to find you, not hard to find. But assuming your house is listed, let's take a standard situation. Your house is listed for sale. You should get a lot of people to see it, and you should get multiple offers. If you don't, it's almost always. In fact, I'd say it's always. If you have the ability to get inside, people can see it, and you're not selling it occupied, because that turns off a lot of people. Even if it's in a bad location, even if it's in bad condition, it has a price. If you're not getting offers, it's because you're priced too high. That is the fact. Now, I know you think, right, logically you would think, well, if I'm showing it and no one's giving me an offer, there must be some other problem, because if it really was worth less, people would just give low offers. People don't like to give low offers. So if you're listing a house for $600,000, that's really worth $500,000, and you got a bunch of people showing it, no one's giving offers, guess what? People don't want to give you an offer $100,000 below. They don't want to upset you. They don't want to make you angry. So the point is, if you're not getting offers and you're getting showings, you should lower the price. That's just a fact. The idea that one day I'll find that guy is foolish. So what happens? So you're a seller and a buyer offers you something and it's less than you want to accept. Or maybe it is what you want to accept, but you think maybe you can get more. You should counter higher. Now it depends. Are there multiple offers? Do you have a lot of people offering you? And if you do, how are you going to possibly counter everybody? You counter everybody with the same price. So I'll give you an example. You're asking $599 for a house, and you get multiple offers at $570. You can counter everybody at $590 and say, "Listen, I have multiple offers. The first one that comes to $590 I'm gonna give it to you." That's one way to do it. In other ways, you might get offers differently. You might get a $565, a $570, a $555, a $585, and you may tell everybody that we want highest and best. That's a way to counter. I want highest and best. All right, go to the top offer and say, "You're close. Can you come up a little bit?" I try and squeeze a little extra out of it. That's a tactic I've used, and it works a lot. And everybody else, you can give a number. You can say, "Listen, I got a $585 offer. If you want to beat that, then you may have a chance. But you run a risk there, right? There's a risk when you say something like that because you got to understand that 585 offer could go away. Offers mean nothing. Even an agreed price means zero. I had a moron realtor lecture me. I was showing a house, and 2 doors down, he had another house, similar layup. I wanted to see it. He goes, "Well, we're doing an inspection already." And I'm like, "Who cares?" He's like, "You can't show a house once an inspection's being done." I'm like, "What planet are you on? Inspection means nothing. If the guy doesn't like the inspection, it's going to be back for sale." The guy was like offended at me, but I wanted to see it, and I go, "I just want to take a look." People are nuts, right? They think it's accepted offer. My word, oh, it's all bullshit. Until contracts are signed, it's all bullshit. I don't care what anybody says. I imagine that guy hasn't been burned enough as many times as I have, where somebody agreed on a price and the buyer just walked. So here's the reality. Until contracts are signed, the buyer's not under any obligation to buy, and you're not under any obligation to sell. And if you had any balls, Mr. Agent, well, whose name I won't mention, you would tell every single time you accept an offer the same thing I tell them. We're accepting your offer, but we're going to continue to market the property until all contracts are signed. And show the freaking thing. What a doofus that guy was. He annoyed me. Okay, so your countering an offer is going to depend on how many offers you have, where they are. So in the situation I said before, we have a 585 offer and then you have a bunch of offers below. You've got to accept the reality that a 585 offer may go away. And if you go back to all the other offers and tell them, "Hey, I need 585," what could happen is they're going to say, I don't want to do 585 for this," and then they're going to leave and go find another property to buy. So there is a risk when you do that, right? You can come back to the 555 offer and say, "Listen, you're a great borrower. I'd love to sell to you, but I need you to come up because I have higher offers." And see, maybe that 555 goes to 575, your 585 drops, so at least you got 575. This is a juggling act. It is not an easy thing to do, and I have dropped the ball on occasion where I've assumed some buyer was going to come through. I told other people they need to be at that number. They said no, and then that buyer dropped. That is a mistake. So you have to be very careful. You want to keep as many balls in the air as possible, right? You want to keep as many interested buyers who want to buy the property as possible. Now, from a buyer's perspective, what do you do when a seller counters you and it's a number you don't want to pay? You can try to sweeten the deal in a variety of ways, and I've gotten people houses in this way. If you're someone who is, you have strong income and strong credit, and you're convinced that the value of the property is there, and you have a decent amount to put down, you have to understand you're going to get a loan, right? If your credit's strong, your income's strong, you're going to get a loan. One of the greatest things you can do as a buyer is you can go to the seller and say, "Listen, I'm going to make an all cash offer." Now, some sellers don't know what that means. Some sellers think you're actually going to bring a suitcase full of cash, which is not what you're saying. What you're saying is that you're not going to have a mortgage contingency. So you can basically say to a seller, "Listen, from what you're telling me, I might not be the highest offer. I'll just tell you, if you agree to sell me the house, I'm going to go to contract with no contingencies, right? I'm going to do an inspection, but I'm not going to ask you to make any repairs. We're going to do inspection before the contract." Now, that gives you an out if you think, because if the inspector comes back and he goes, "This house is a disaster, much worse than you thought," you don't have to sign the contract. "Oh, no, you're a man of your word." It's all bullshit. That's the truth. But you can say to the guy, "Listen, I'm going to buy with no contingencies when I go to contract," which is after the inspection. "I'm not going to have a mortgage contingency. I'm going to close. If you go with a higher offer, that guy can drag you along for 2 or 3 months, then leave." For a lot of sellers, that's a big deal. For a lot, some don't even know what it is, and for a lot of sellers' attorneys who usually are going to be advising the seller, it's a bigger deal, right? Because every guy who does real estate and represents the seller knows that they've been through situations where a mortgage contingency came up at the end and just killed the deal. It happens all the time. It just happened to me, and that's the truth. I was in the mortgage business for a long time. A mortgage contingency really is a get out of contract free card. It really is. So a seller's attorney knows that, and if you go to a seller's attorney and say this guy is going to waive his mortgage contingency, he might go, "I think you should go with this offer even if it's less money." So that's something to think about. That's how countering goes when you're negotiating. I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in other ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in finding out more about my course that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are watching on Brett, it happened to you twice on one deal. I know it's happened to me multiple times on a deal too. Um, if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are watching on any channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help me, and please keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week, and I really run out of things to say. So thank you very, very much for watching.